salutations, my dearest friends. My name is Samantha, and today I am doing a reading vlog where I read some monster romances on Kindle Unlimited. Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to this little series I kind of started but then totally forgot that I started, and that is basically me just reading a lot of books on Kindle Unlimited. Love Kindle Unlimited, and especially now that you can pick out 20 books at a time. Honestly, probably my favorite subscription service, and I know a lot of you guys also use Kindle Unlimited, so I wanted to start this series to give like more recommendations. 2 other videos like this where I picked a specific like subgenre and read a bunch of books on Kindle Unlimited. I did one for historical romances, and then I also did one for short, steamy novellas, which I will leave down below if you want to watch. Today, we're doing monster romances, which I know are really popular right now. I think this is a good time for like monster romances and paranormal romances because we're entering the fall season, you know, spooky season, and like what's more autumnal than like monster smut, you know? So if you guys like monster romances, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Honestly, this kind of started because of TikTok a little bit. Just a little bit. I posted a TikTok where I was recommending some of my favorite monster romances, and a lot of you guys were telling me that I needed to read Lillian Lark. Everyone was saying that the book Stalked by the Kraken was like the best book ever and I needed to read it, and I was like, okay then. So I went on her TikTok, the author's TikTok, and she has like so many videos talking about monster romances, and I was like, wow. All I needed to know about this book Stalked by the Kraken was that it had tentacles. Tentacles, okay? This video is gonna be a little bit steamy, okay? I don't know. Be advised. The book that I'm gonna read in this video is obviously Stalked by the Kraken because that's what inspired the video. It's a first in the series. The series is called Monstrous Matches. What I knew about this book going into it was our hero was a kraken, like literally like an octopus, like the thing in the sea that like sank ships in the ye olden days. Yes, it didn't actually sink ships because it's a mythical being, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think that could be sexy, so I'm like real curious how the author does that. Obviously he can like shapeshift, but like does he turn into an octopus? We will find out. Another monster romance that I'm like dying to read is The Lady of Rixgrave Manor by Catherine Moon. If you guys didn't know, I read the Librarian's Coven series by Catherine Moon, which is a reverse harem series about witches, kind of. So it's so good, like one of my favorite series I've read ever. And I wanted to read like more Catherine Moon and read all of her books, so here we are. This is probably her most popular, like everybody loves it. It's another reverse harem. Basically, our heroine works at a house where she services monsters. Is that how you would describe this book? I don't know. Basically, she has sexual relations with like different types of monsters. This is reverse harem, so she has more than one hero. She's basically like being introduced to all of these different types of monsters, like vampires. There's one that's like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of retelling little play thing going on. And I'm just like really excited because I love Catherine Moon. And I'm gonna read some other books throughout the week. Again, this is just gonna be a casual reading vlog, so buckle in, and I hope you guys like the video. Hi, hello, how are you? I was throwing my hair in this little bun because I still don't know how to style the short hair, and I got like water on my shirt, so ignore that. But we finished a book so soon, I know. Technically I was reading this book before I was filming this video, and I'm obsessed. Like, I can already tell you, like, 5 stars, love this book. And that, okay, my dog is barking in the background. What I'm talking about is Stalked by the Kraken by Lillian Lark. I saw her book was on Kindle Unlimited, and I was intrigued. I didn't know how I was gonna feel about a kraken because like an octopus Okay, let me talk about this book. This book is a little bit shorter. I think it's right under that 200-page mark, which you guys know is like my sweet spot. I love reading shorter books. This is described as a stalker romance, but let me just say it is as wholesome as a steamy monster smut romance is gonna get. Our hero, I'll talk about him in a second. So basically in this book, our hero is a kraken, which is powerful, and he's in town for his job. He hunts and finds lost items and treasure, and he ends up stumbling upon our heroine, who is a witch, and he immediately feels connected to her and knows that she is his fated mate. First and foremost, I love fated mates. One of my favorite tropes. I'm absolute trash for that trope. Like, give it to me, especially like in a paranormal romance. He has this instant connection with her, but he knows that she has gone through a pretty bad breakup, so she's very hesitant jumping in the relationship. So he kind of like watches her from afar. As he ends up approaching her eventually. Like I said, she is a witch, and she's also a matchmaker. So she like reads people's energies and like soul threads and matches them to their most compatible person or their fated mate. Not too much about the plot, honestly, because I don't want to ruin anything. And like I said, this is a shorter romance, but literally all you need to know is our hero does have tentacles that he can bring out at his will. A little shape-shifting action there. And I really feel like that's all you need to know is spicy tentacles. And like, just go with it, okay? Please read this book. Please read this book. It is so lovely. Our hero is obsessed with our heroine, and he is the most wholesome, overprotective hero I've ever seen. Like, he is definitely protective of our heroine and has kind of like an alpha vibe, but he's also just like soft, you know, he's a soft cinnamon roll. Read this book. And our heroine was hilarious, absolutely hilarious. And even though she was going through a bad breakup and had some insecurities, she was also pretty confident and very sex positive, which I adored. So this book was perfect. Like, I can't even like gush about it more. I want everyone to read it. I have nothing bad to say about this book. 5 freaking stars. My sister's calling me. Hello, my love. Mi niña que linda, preciosa, que bella.
Hi.
Hi, what's wrong?
Mom wanted to know if you wanted anything from Chick-fil-A.
Oh, yes. I do want food. Chicken nugget meal with french fries.
Chicken nugget meal, french fries, Coca-Cola, usual card.
Boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
You want to say hi? I'm filming. You want to say hi?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. You're so beautiful. I love you. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit. I got so sidetracked. Yeah, love this romance. Has all the tropes that I like. It was wholesome as well as being steamy, a little monster romance, a little tentacles, a little breeding action. I feel like this is prime time monster romance, okay? It really, I don't know if this is my favorite monster romance I've ever read, because that's a big, bold statement, because I've read a lot of really good ones. But I think this might be my favorite one I've ever read. Yeah, man. Okay, I loved it. Oh, my sister's calling again. I loved Lillian Lark's book so freaking much that I completely derailed my TBR and decided to read her next book, which is 3 of Hearts. And this one is a menage. A little male, female action. A little polyamorous action. You guys know that's my favorite. I'm a huge fan of polyamorous romances. 3 is always better, babe. It's always better. So this one is with a harpy, a demon, and a werewolf shifter. So we have a few different kind of monsters, which is really fun. Also has the fated mates trope. There are trigger warnings in the beginning of this book for unexpected pregnancy. Features some characters that we met in the previous book, which I'm really excited about, because in Stalked by the Kraken, I was like, oh, I really want like to know about the werewolf. Like, I really want to know his story. So we do get to know his story, thankfully. The premise of this book, it first follows our hero Greg, who is a werewolf shifter, and he thinks that he met his soulmate. He ends up meeting Asa, I think is how you pronounce his name, who is a demon, and immediately when they meet, they have a great connection, and he's like sure that he's his soulmate. Well, a couple months into the relationship, this is not a spoiler, by the way. This is like in the beginning of the book. A couple months into the relationship, Greg's werewolf actually rejects Asa. So it's a pretty like heartbreaking situation, because he already had feelings for him, and then like his wolf is not agreeing with what's going on. Fast forward, he's on a job, ends up meeting our heroine, who I have no idea how to pronounce this name. Zephyrine? He meets her, and she is a harpy, and instantly his wolf is like, that's your fated mate. And he's really confused because he thought he already met his fated mate. He doesn't know how it's possible that he has two. He doesn't even know if he can trust his wolf anymore, and that's where our story starts. So it's a little messy because we have our demon who is madly in love with Greg, the werewolf, and wants him back. And then we have the harpy, Zephyrine, that just came on the scene, and Greg, who's like confused on which one he's gonna choose. I don't think he has to choose between them. I think he gets to keep them. I hope he gets to keep them because like polyamorous is my favorite thing ever. That's it. I'm only like 10 pages in and I'm already obsessed. Lillian Lark, what a great author. New author to me. She seems like a lovely person on her TikToks, and I'm really excited. All right, babes, that is all of my bookish updates for today. Today was a very busy day. I completely cleaned out my closet. Like, I took everything out of my closet and then, you know, kept the stuff that fits me because I gained some weight and some clothes don't fit me. I'm very, very nervous because I start my new job, well, my new position tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day that I'm going to a new department in my job. I ended up leaving the department that I was in. I was there for, I want to say 4 years. I can't actually remember. And I was struggling a lot mentally, and it wasn't anything personal. I actually had really great managers and coworkers that I'm gonna miss a lot. But the workload and just some things that were going on were not mentally good for myself. So I decided to switch gears and go back to a different department that I used to work in. I work in finance, by the way. So crazy because yes, this is a different position, but it's almost like a lateral move because I have worked in this department before. And I've really been struggling with this decision because I came to a point where I had to be open and say that I wasn't really prioritizing my career. I wasn't prioritizing money. I was prioritizing my mental health. And that was a huge step for me. I'm not gonna cry, not gonna cry, not gonna cry. I swear I cry in every reading vlog. I wanted to say this because I didn't say it in the last video. And like I said, a lot of people reached out to me and talked about their own personal stories, which I thought was wonderful. But I think like what I'm experiencing has a lot to do with my mental health and my physical health, but it's also like a classic case of burnout. And I feel like society kind of like drills into our brain this grind mentality, grind till you die, grind, career focus, make money, like all of this stuff. And it's like really that might work for some people. Some people might love their careers, might prioritize their careers, and that's amazing. But there are other people that experience burnout. It's really okay to prioritize yourself over money, over a career, because your mental health matters. And it took me literally years. I've been in this department for years, 5 years, to really convince myself like this was okay, this was the right move. Like for 5 years I've felt this way. I have felt total complete burnout, and I was just not taking care of myself or my mental health. And this is the first time that I'm doing that. I'm still very nervous because I hope that this is going to be good for me mentally, but you never can be sure. Thank you for listening to my rant. I promise this is not going to be as ranty as my last reading vlog, but I wanted to give you guys an update because I really did appreciate all of your kind words. I am okay. I know I had a little bit of a, breakdown in my last reading vlog, but I am okay, and thank you guys for messaging me. So I will update you guys with more reading updates later. Day 2 of going to work. This is my makeup for the day. I'm wearing a very simple outfit. Black shirt, black slacks, black flats. And then I was like, you know what? Let's do a little pop of color. Something a little spicy, I fell asleep reading 3 of Hearts. I think that was the name of the book. Freaking Lillian Lark. I'm sorry. Literally love her so much. Whenever I find an author that I adore, I always like binge read their books because I'm very obsessive like that, like I just want to read everything they've ever written. So love all of her characters. Our werewolf shifter is literally a cinnamon roll who bakes cinnamon rolls. He's literally a baker, and I don't think he gets any cuter than that. So yep, I don't know what I'm doing with my hair today, but I gotta head out the door. So I will update you guys in a little bit. Oh, also, the eyeshadow that I'm wearing, let me grab it for you guys. I've talked about it before. This is the AOA Studio Neon Buttercream Gel Liner. Looks like this. It's in the shade Optimistic. $1. $1 on the website called Shop Miss A. I'll link it down below. Like, it's so pigmented and so bright, and all I have is just this, like, smeared all over my eyelid. So I love those things. They're so freaking pretty, and they don't crease. That's important. All right. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Day 3 of training. I put my hair in a ponytail because I couldn't be bothered to style it. I'm wearing this white top. It has some flowers, these grayish pants. I feel like I've been wearing a lot of black, so yep. And then I have white flats to match, and I have a mask that matches like this color pretty on point. So just a look. I'm trying to dress more business casual, but I just feel frumpy. But, you know, we're just gonna rock it. We're just gonna rock it. If you guys dress business casual, like, how do you style your stuff? I feel like I wear so much black because it's simple. But yeah, that's it. Hello, hello. I have to do my makeup because I have a live show. I'm gonna put my hair back out of my face. It's not gonna be cute, but anyways, what was I gonna say? I have a live show today, and I have like 20 minutes to do my makeup, which normally I like to, you know, take my time and do my makeup, but we're gonna rush today. And I'm just gonna chat with you guys as I do my makeup. So this vlog was supposed to be all about reading monster romances, but I kind of had to take a little bit of a pause because I had to read my book for my Historical Hellions book club. If you didn't know, I do host a book club every month. It's called the Historical Hellions. I host it with Jessica from Peace Love Books, and we read historical romances published before the year 2000. We alternate live shows on each other's channel, and we always have fun guest hosts. So this month we were reading The Pirate and the Pagan, so I had to read that. I'm not liking it, but I guess I'll leave the live show down below because this will be posted after. And then I also had to kind of start Naked in Death by J.D. Robb because I'm buddy reading this with my dad, of all people. Me and my father are buddy reading this series, so that's for another video. What else? What other updates do we have? Work. Oh my goodness, this week was stressful. My first week of training, and it was just honestly like so much information being thrown at me at once, and like so many new people I was meeting. Like I was saying, change is still really stressful, and because I was working from home, I didn't have like a ton of social interaction, especially because of the pandemic. So it's just like at the end of the week I was like so exhausted from like talking to so many different people. Do you guys get that, where you literally feel like your social energy bank is like low? That's how I felt this weekend, and I like haven't felt that great. I've had a headache and I've been so freaking tired, and I feel like I was putting all this pressure on myself, and at the end of the week I just felt so exhausted because, you know, I work at an 8-hour job basically helping other people, and sometimes it feels like I can't even help myself, you know, and like that was making me really, really emotional. I had asked for like more updates and mental health talk in my last reading vlog because I really, really opened up about that. So I'm trying to just be like more open and transparent with you guys about my personal struggles with depression and social anxiety, and then obviously, you know, my experience with endometriosis as well. So thank you guys for all of your support so far. I hope that this isn't like redundant or boring, but it really is just like a part of my life that I deal with and I struggle with. So curious, I'm using the Kat Von D Good Apple foundation. I wear the shade medium 054. I really only wear this when I'm filming because it is like full coverage, and sometimes it can be a little too intense for a normal day, especially if you're like wearing a mask or anything. Talk about the books that I've been reading. I read 3 of Hearts by Lillian Lark, and babes, I loved it so much. I ended up giving it 5 stars. Freaking adored it. One of my favorite polyamorous romances ever. Literally ever. It has like everything I love. I love fated mates. I love monster romances. I love polyamorous relationships. And like, I don't know why, but when it comes to fated mates, typically it's just like you have one fated mate and that's it. But in this book, one of our heroes, Greg, he's a werewolf shifter, and his wolf is telling him that he has 2 fated mates. And I love that. And he's like trying to like figure out like if his wolf is telling him the right thing, because he's never had anyone in his community who has been in a polyamorous relationship. And it's just like really fun. I really liked Greg because he was literally, I say literally a lot, I'm so sorry. He was such a cinnamon roll who bakes cinnamon rolls. He's an actual baker in this book who bakes cinnamon rolls, and he's also like so soft and sweet, like that stoic hero. Give it to me. It has some tropes that I'm typically not a fan of. This has a surprise pregnancy trope, which I think is one of the best, if not the best, surprise pregnancy tropes I have ever read. Like, there was a trigger warning for surprise pregnancy, so it wasn't much of a surprise. Like, it was in the author's note. And I think, like, if I know that it's gonna happen, then I don't mind it. But I think it was just done so beautifully. And maybe it's because, like, the more paranormal aspect that I really liked the way that the author dealt with it. I also liked how this was a very, like, realistic description of a menage or polyamorous romance. Sometimes when you read menage or polyamorous, a part of you is like, but would that really work in the real world? And there were so many like discussions and situations that were in this book that really made it feel like our characters could really like be a couple in the real world, if that makes sense. Very slight BDSM aspect to it. So Asa, who is the demon shifter, is more dominant. Greg, who is the werewolf shifter, is more submissive to Asa, but he is a switch, so he does have like a dominant nature, which is where a heroine comes in because she's more submissive, which is interesting because this also kind of touches on like gender stereotypes and the patriarchy, because our heroine is a harpy, which is a very like female run organization, family, magical group. I don't know what the word would be for that. And it's all about like dominant females, so it's actually kind of a disgrace for her to be a little bit more submissive, which I thought was interesting. There is a little bit of a mystery element going on in this book. There are some paranormal creatures that are going missing. This also happens in her other book, Stalked by the Kraken, so it kind of like all ties together. Whenever I find an author that I like love, I tend to just binge read their books. Like, I get a little obsessive, you know? Anyways, so 5 stars, 2 5 stars actually. Now I'm reading a very popular monster romance right now. What is it called? Something Rooksgrave Manor. What is it called? Lady of Rooksgrave Manor by Catherine Moon. To read this one, I know it's really popular. It actually reminds me of a Wattpad story I read forever ago. Like, this book was never even published, like, through a publishing house. It was literally just like a Wattpad story about this girl who lived on Earth, but it was a very like oppressive situation where men had like 3-4 wives. Women didn't really have any agency. So she ends up like going on this alien ship and working for this, what is the word? I don't know. I don't want to say whorehouse because that doesn't sound very nice. What is it called? Manor, where they, you know, she has the ability to, you know, sell her body and her services, and she ends up servicing like different types of aliens and monsters. And that was like a Wattpad story. And this one was less reverse harem because she does end up with like one of the clients at this place. But it like the concept of it is so reminiscent to Lady of Rooksgrave Manor. So our heroine is a maid, and she's about to be let go from her position, where she meets one of our heroes. He's kind of like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Like he's a doctor that's very prim and proper, but then he also has like an animal inside of him that, you know, shapeshifts or whatnot. And she ends up getting introduced to this manor where she can, you know, have sexual relations with multiple men, and they happen to be monsters. And she's just like living her best life. This is the most sex positive book I've ever read. Our heroine is hilarious, and I love how like unabashedly she is about, you know, being open sexually, and I just love like how she is so confident in herself, and like she's so unafraid to like enjoy, you know, like sexual pleasures and things like that, and she's not ashamed of it, and she fits in this house so well. And there's all of these different monsters that she meets. Like she meets a vampire, she literally meets a man that's invisible. That was real fun and spicy. So yeah, I'm only like 20% in the way in, but it's honestly no surprise why everybody adores this book. What time is it? Because my live show's in a little bit. My live show in 5 minutes. Does it look like I'm ready? Oh my god, I need to hurry up. Crap. Okay guys, I gotta put on my makeup so fast right now, and I will update you guys later. Okay, bye. Hello, hi. Hi, I have a lot of updates. I kind of did a bad job at actually vlogging for this video. You're gonna see this shirt a couple times because I still have to film the intro and the outro of this video. So there you go. Anyways, some updates. What are some updates? I went book shopping. I think I'm going to film a separate book haul because I got a lot of books. And I did film me at the bookstore that I hadn't been to in a really long time. So I'll probably film a different little haul. I recently got my ears pierced like, I don't know, maybe 2-3 weeks ago. I used to have my ears pierced when I was a kid, but I got a lot of ear infections and just like a lot of weird stuff. So I never really kept my ears pierced because they always got infected. So I got them re-pierced because with my new hair, I don't know why, I just like want to wear big hoop earrings. But I tried taking these out today and they're still like not at all healed. This one in particular, I still had a pierced, like, I still had a hole there. It was just closed, and she re-pierced it. And I don't know if you're supposed to do that because there's, like, a lot of scar tissue. Like, I Googled it, and people say mixed things. But this one, it has, like, I don't want to say a keloid, but it has, like, a big old scar tissue, like, back there. It feels, it's wrong. Like, something is not going well. So, I can't switch them out yet, which is unfortunate because I really want to wear hoop earrings. Hey, Rachel from Rachel Reads and Sings, I will leave her channel down below. She just posted a video today, well, not the day that I'm posting this, the day that I'm recording this, where she read my top 5 favorite books, and I just am like so flattered that anyone would want to read books that I recommend. Like, it, whenever someone says they read a book that I recommended, it boggles my mind. Like, I know that I film videos, but like I never think that people actually watch them, you know? There's like a disconnect there. So I don't know. I love when people read books that I recommend. Even if they don't like them, like, that's fine. I know people have like different reading tastes. I genuinely don't get offended if people don't like my favorite books. But she really did like some of them. And like when you find people who have very similar reading tastes as you do, it's like the best feeling ever. And her video made me so happy. I was watching it while I was getting ready for today's video. I'll link it down below. I hope you guys watch it because honestly, it was such a good video. Not just because she was raving about my favorite books, but because she's a lovely person. What else? I went shopping for some new work clothes today, and you know, body dysmorphia is a bitch, and I'm really struggling. Kind of like dressing myself business casual. I mean, I have business casual stuff. I just don't. I have like this weird like adult syndrome thing. Like I never really feel like an adult. So when I dress business casual, I just feel like I'm playing dress up. Like I'm pretending to be an adult, even though like obviously I am not pretending. But I don't know. Does anyone else get that? I still feel like 16 sometimes. I'm like, who gave me the permission to be an adult? I sure in the hell didn't. Which I guess leads me into what else I want to talk about. My mental health update. I don't know. When I first started doing videos, the comment I would get the most was people would always say, oh my god, I love your energy. Oh my god, I love your positivity. Oh my god, you're so happy. And like, yes, those comments would make me so incredibly happy. And like, I loved when people would say that because like, that's the biggest compliment someone could give me. But it would also just like, I don't think anyone realized, even in my own personal life, how much I was struggling mentally, or am still struggling mentally. I'm not gonna cry. I am gonna cry, but sorry, I always end up crying in my reading vlogs. It's just a thing. I can't help it. I can't actually cry too much right now because I have to film my intro. But I didn't want people, like, I want it to be real. I want it to be raw on YouTube. Like, yes, I am a happy, positive person some days, and the other days I'm this, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I just wanted to, like, be a little bit more raw, real, and open, that, like, you could see someone and they could be super positive, grinning from ear to ear, and they could really be having a hard time. So I don't know, it's just like important to like be kind to yourself and to be kind to others, obviously. Everyone handles things differently. Everyone has a different place in life. So for me, I'm choosing to focus on my mental health over my career and over money. And, you know, a lot of people choose to focus on their career, and that's wonderful. That's great. That's just not where I am or where I can be right now. And it took me a really long time to be okay with that, because I think a lot of times we determine our success based of the money in our bank account or the position we have at our job, and that's not always the case. So yeah, that's kind of just like an update. I think I just really wanted to say thank you for watching that video and for being so kind. And also everyone who messaged me, I see you. I see you, I understand you, and I'm praying for you. I really, really am, because it's so difficult to go through anxiety, depression, things like that. And I just wish you guys the best. I really do. Okay, I don't want to cry anymore. I have to film my intro. But I wanted to give you guys a little update on that video, so yeah. All right, we are here to wrap up the books that I've read. I did a poor job in vlogging, which I really apologize about, but I'm just gonna wrap up this video. I ended up reading 4 books in total in this video. Let me update you guys about the ones I read most recently. So I finished Lady of Rooksgrave Manor by Catherine Moon. 5 stars. I can definitely see why everyone is so obsessed with this book. Monster romances, this is kind of like the best out there in my opinion, because it is a reverse harem. You get different types of monsters. Reverse harems and polyamorous books, I'm coming to realize. I mean, I like a typical romance just between like 2 people, but like threesomes, foursomes, and moresomes are just more fun to read about. You know, a little bit more spicy, a little bit more fun and interesting. Like, I can read like a regular romance any old time. It's very interesting. There's kind of like a mystery going on. Some girls are going missing in this book, and I really like how she kind of like set up this book for the second book, which I'm really excited about. I think that comes out sometime in 2022. So 5 stars. On the Catherine Moon train that I just kept reading more of her books, I ended up reading, what is it called? Baby and the Late Night Howlers. This is the first book in her Omegaverse series. And oh, it's called the Sweet Omegaverse series. I've never read an Omegaverse before. I loved it. I loved it so much. Oh my god. Okay, this was also 5 stars. I had really good luck in this video. Every single book I read in this video, it was 5 stars. Okay, Omegaverse. I feel like I'm not really the person to describe this type of universe in the romance community, because I don't know much about it. So basically, you have your betas, you have your omegas, and you have your alphas. Alphas, you know, top of the food chain, growly, possessive, you know, biting shit, you know, that like that type of stuff, like real possessive and, you know, sexy. I don't know why I'm doing so many hand movements. Then you have your betas, which are basically like your typical average wolf shifter type of thing. They're not at the top of the food chain. They're kind of just like regular people, okay? Then you have your omegas, and these are like the rare breeds that basically like piece together alpha packs. So alphas are always like looking for their omegas to like spoil and take care of and get pregnant and have kids. Omegas can be girls or boys, and I think it just depends on the universe, but they're like these really special people. I don't know how to describe it. I'm the worst. Although this is kind of like a shifter romance, I don't know if this would fit in the monster category, because they don't actually shift. They kind of just have like animal instincts and like, you know, impulsive reactions, but they don't shift into actual monsters. Like they don't shift into werewolves literally at all. It's heroine. She was not an omega her entire life, and then one magical night in a bar, she discovers that she is an Omega. And, you know, everybody's after her because she's super rare. Everybody wants to be with her. And she ends up having to find her pack. She ends up finding a group of guys who belong to a motorcycle club, and she sort of like forms her pack with them. I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but in total there are 12 guys that are bonded to her and that are her alphas. And this is a reverse harem, so she isn't connected to all of them sexually. She's connected to like on a sexual romantic level, and then 6 of them is more like a familial level. Like this, if you like books with like a found family type of trope, then you would love this, because it's honestly like following this big old motorcycle family, and the dynamic is really, really interesting. The plot is very interesting, kind of similar to her other books. Some girls are going missing. A lot of Omegas are going missing. Other motorcycle gangs are kind of like breaching into their territory, and they're all trying to keep our heroine, her name is Baby, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. Like, that's her legal name, is Baby, which is so funny to me. They're all trying to keep her safe, and she's also trying to like figure out like if she wants to bond with these alphas and if this is her true pack, her true love, etc., etc. I loved it so much. Honestly, when I first started reading the book, okay, so the thing with reverse harem is when you have more than one hero, I feel like it's kind of difficult for the author to really make them like distinct voices and distinct characters. And in the beginning, I was like, oh, this might be a 3-star read, because it was kind of hard to distinguish all of the alphas. There was 12 of them. 12 of them. And they had motorcycle like nicknames as well as their regular names that they would switch back and forth. And I was like, who the fuck is everyone? Like, I was so confused for a good portion of this book. But then once it like kicked into gear, and I realized at the end of the book, they should have had this in the beginning, but at the end of the book, there was like an index of all the characters. So once I pieced together who all the characters were, it was a great time. And I gave this book 5 stars. This one is probably the most steamy out of all the books that I read, because I mean, hello, she's romantically involved with like 6 alpha males, 7, because she's involved with a beta as well. So you can imagine there's a lot of steamy times, but it's still so much fun. Oh, this book was like a ball. I'm like super into like Omegaverse now. Like, I really want to read more. I started reading Lola and the Millionaires, or Lola and the Millionaires, which is the second book in this series. It follows a side character, Lola, obviously. I'm gonna have to read this and like catch you guys up on it in another video, because I just started it. I didn't really love Lola in this book. I feel like she wasn't that great of a friend to Baby. But then you kind of realize like she was going through a lot. The entire video, honestly, I know this was like the worst wrap up ever, I'm sorry. This entire video was great because I read 4 books and all of them were 5 stars. Technically, I only read 2 authors. I tend to do that. Like, once I find an author that I really enjoy their book, I'm like, oh, I want to read everything you've ever written. Thank you so much. So we read Stalked by the Kraken by Lillian Lark. 5 stars. We read 3 of Hearts by Lillian Lark. 5 stars. We read Lady of Rooksgrave Manor by Catherine Moon. What did you guys say? Oh yeah, it was 5 stars. And then we read Baby and the Late Night Howlers, which you guys guessed it, also 5 stars. So great. Yeah, I'm just like really happy that I read these books. If you guys are looking for a fun, steamy time, pick up any of these books. I promise you, you will love them. If you guys enjoyed this video, as always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. It means the absolute world to me. I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!